Hi guys and welcome to the channel. So today we are going to make garlic brisket. Now whenever I cook a steak, it's salt, pepper and garlic granules. So I thought, well, what would brisket be like if I injected it with garlic? And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to see whether or not this comes out and makes the brisket next level amazing, or it's a complete load of rubbish. But we're going to find out together. First thing to do is trim this brisket. Now this is an XM Gold brisket from John Davison's, and as you can see, absolutely beautiful. Just needs a bit of trim on this one. I have done a separate trim video, so I won't show the full process of me trimming this, make the video a little bit shorter, but I will cut back once I've trimmed this. There you go, happy with that. So now that's all trimmed up, it's time to look to do our garlic injection. So this is a kilo of garlic paste. So the actual garlic paste is quite thick, so I decided to water it down. Now I'm just simply adding a bit of water at a time until I got it to the consistency that I wanted, that I thought I'd be able to inject it relatively easily. Then I've got the injector gun. I will leave a link to it in the description down below, so go and check that out if you want to get one. It's actually pretty good, to be fair to it, and it injected nice and easy, so this gave me hope. So when it came to the actual pattern, I was just going to inject the brisket in a kind of crisscross, maybe like a centimetre apart each time. I really wanted to get as much garlic in there as I possibly could to see whether or not this experiment would work. Okay, so I've injected as much garlic as I think I can. Got a few squirters here and there, but apart from that it looks pretty good. So I'm just going to quickly kind of like clear the surface off, because I don't want too much garlic on the actual surface of the brisket. So I'm just going to take that off. And then starting with the underside, let's season this up. So as always, I use my mushroom soy 2 as a binder. It adds a really beautiful dark colour to it, helps your bark look absolutely amazing, as well as add kind of like a really nice deep flavour on it. And this is what they use at Goldie's, and this is where I got the tip from, so thank you very much to them. But it works perfectly. So I'm just going to get it all around the sides. So now that I've put our binder on, it's time to put some seasoning on. So today I'm using Steve Gale's brisket rub. Now this rub is fantastic. I've tried it quite a few times now. In fact, this is probably my second or third tub of this. It is really nice. It works amazingly well on beef, particularly on brisket, hence the name. He's put a huge amount of work into developing this, and you can tell. I will leave a link to it down in the description. Also, if you haven't checked out his channel, Smoke Trails Barbecue, please go and check it out. Give him a sub as well. Show him some love. He does some amazing things on that channel, and I'm sure he'd appreciate it. So I always start with the sides, because I'm of the view that if you do the sides last, then all that work that you've done to get a really nice coating on your presentation side just gets lost. So I always think, well, if I do the sides, that's all done, don't have to worry about it, and I'm not going to mess up my bark when I'm trying to put rub on it. Then starting with the underside, I'm going to give it a really nice decent coating, flip over and do exactly the same on the other side. So now that rub's all applied, I'm going to put it in the fridge, and I'm going to do it for 3 reasons. First reason is dry brining. I want that rub to adhere to the meat. I want the salt to start to penetrate, and that will help form your bark incredibly well. It's a major plus for wanting a decent bark and that flavour to penetrate the actual meat rather than just being on the surface. The second is I want that garlic to kind of like meld, to kind of move in the fibres, to get out the pockets that it's in, and try to distribute fully throughout the brisket. And then the third reason is that trimming, seasoning the day before, so you can just come out in the morning, touch up any areas that you missed, stick it straight on the smoker, saves you a ton of time. So it's a really good thing to do. I do it all the time on tons of things. So let's put this in the fridge, and I'll catch you in the morning. Well, good morning everyone, and as you can see, this brisket is looking absolutely fantastic. Loads of beautiful coverage. I can't see any garlic that's leaked out at all. All the salt, as you can see, is penetrated deep within this meat now, so there's no salt at all on the surface. You can just see that pepper that's sat on top. So it's time to put this on the smoker. So the offset's up to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's time to put this on. Now I'm going to run it at 250 for the majority of the cook. But once I'm happy that it's got a really nice bark on it, and also it's temping internally about 175, then I'm going to wrap it, bump the temperature up, and then get it to that finished tenderness. I have done a whole video on literally every single tip that I know that gets you amazing brisket every single time, so I'll link it up there. Please go and watch it. It's a wealth of information that hopefully will really help you get the perfect brisket in your backyard. But there's enough talking, let's get this on the pit.
7 hours later.
So according to the probe it's 175, but I like to double check it. So 175, 185 there, but it's probing really nice and tender. Also the bark looks really good. We've got a bit of drain, bit of pull in there, which is fine. It's one of the things. But actually it looks pretty decent. The bark's pretty nice. Nothing's catching particularly, so I'm quite happy with that. So now I'm going to take it out and I'm going to wrap it. This is the way I like to wrap my briskets. I add a generous amount of ghee, and that adds a really beautiful umami flavour. Then I'm going to add some smoked tallow back in. This is from my previous cooks. Again, adds flavour and fat back into it. And then when wrapping, you just literally want to get it into a really nice tight parcel. I do spray it with water beforehand because that just makes it a bit more pliable. But make sure it's a nice tight package, and then job done. Right, so I'm going to let that carry on cooking now. I'm going to bump the temperature up probably about 275, even maybe even 300. This has been a really long cook. I don't know if it's the brisket or whether or not it's the fact that we've injected garlic into it, but it's been a really, really long cook. Far longer than I was actually expecting, which is quite interesting, but briskets are all different. It could be part of that as well. But anyway, now it's back in there. Going to let it ride for the next couple of hours, get it up to around the 200, and then I'm going to start probing it to make sure it's nice and tender and look for those signs that the brisket's cooked, and I'll bring you back then.
4 hours later.
So to see if the brisket's done, firstly I'm going to temp it, see if it's around the 205 sort of mark. Then I'm going to get my fingers underneath, dig deep within that, see if the fibres are starting to separate, and whether or not the whole brisket's got a nice bend to it. Those are the signs that your brisket is done. Okay, so it's been an hour and a half. I've let this rest right down, but it is freezing out here, hence I've got my jacket on. So regardless, it's going to steam, but you know, hopefully it's rested enough that all the juices are redistributed. But really, I'm just buzzing. I just want to try this. I want to see what it's like. I want to see whether or not all this work is worth it. So let's open it up and have a look. Now look at that. That looks beautiful. You've got a beautiful dark bark. Smells amazing. Doesn't smell very garlicky, I have to say, so I'm interested to see what it's like. Okay, let's slice it dead down the middle. I want to see what it's like. Oh, that cut like butter. Now look at that. That is what you got. I'm not squeezing. Look at that juice running down. That looks amazing. So, just going to put that bit over here. This is the bit I really want to try. Now, I can see little pockets of garlic in here. I can see tiny little bits. But, let's take a slice. Wow, look at that. Okay, so all the garlic you can see is collected within the main part of the fat. So regardless where I've injected it, that's where it's ended up. So these are going to be really concentrated, but I want to know whether or not I've got any garlic in that meat. That's going to be really interesting, so let's give it a go. This wasn't a result, I have to say, this wasn't a result I was expecting. I wasn't expecting like all the garlic to collect here, because I was injecting it up and down the whole time. This is quite surprising, but quite interesting as well. So take a nice slice. Oh, look at that. Cutting beautifully. I think the third one's in. Now I can really smell the garlic now. No, that is definitely cooked. Now, I'm going to try a bit with some garlic in. Sorry, this is a bit with the garlic in. So with a bit with the garlic in like that, it's quite strong. You can really taste the garlic in it. let's try a bit without the garlic, and I actually want to try a bit of the old lean, give that a go. I'll take a slice off this end. So there's not as much, I think you can see here, again, nice, and you can tell it's really nicely cooked. Does it pull apart? Yeah, perfectly, no problems there at all. But I can't see much of the garlic in there. I think I can see some garlic here, but there's not a lot of garlic in the actual fibres of the actual meat itself. So I wasn't sure how well it's going to show up on camera, so I decided to do a separate clip. Now the point is on the left hand side, and you can see large collections of that garlic, and then on the right you've got the flat, and you can see the collection of garlic, or the size of garlic, is a lot smaller but more distributed, if that makes sense, but quite different how it collected in both the point and the flat. But let's give it a go. Yeah, that's nice. I can't taste a lot of garlic, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm going to obviously try, if I try a bit, you can see that garlic in the middle there. So in that bite I definitely get the taste of garlic, and it's not particularly pleasant. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's almost like the garlic hasn't been cooked through, so like if you literally took a spoonful of raw garlic and ate it, that strong flavour. Because I think the garlic, if I bring back the point, so you can see the garlic has really sat in one place, and basically what that's going to mean is that when you bite it, it's going to have really strong garlic flavour, rather than the whole garlic distributing throughout the meat itself and actually kind of like adding that flavour throughout the whole meat. You're just literally going to be eating on a whole clove of garlic, and that's not going to be nice at all. So conclusion time, would I recommend you doing this? Quite simply, no, I wouldn't. So from the fact that it took, you know, we're at like 12 hours now for this cook, which is way longer than I've ever done a brisket cook ever before, and also the fact that the garlic has clumped, I wouldn't recommend doing this. It doesn't taste nice when you get that whole piece of garlic, and I don't feel that the garlic's gone throughout the meat, so that it's worth doing. You're not getting that sole garlic flavour throughout the meat. I think bottom line, and I'm really glad I did this experiment, so even though it's not something I would repeat or recommend, it's still worth doing, because then you've got that knowledge. I think if I was going to cook this again, what I'd actually do is just use garlic powder, add that to the seasoning that I add to the outside of the brisket, and then add that garlic flavour in that way. I would not inject it. That's a definite no for me. But it's really interesting, glad I did it. If you did enjoy this video, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a little thumbs up so YouTube knows you liked it, and don't forget to leave any comments or thoughts down below. Now if you do want to learn how to cook the perfect brisket, go and check out this video where I take you through step by step. There's also a free meat smoking planner on there as well that you can download and help you with your smoking. But until the next video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Like a drug that